welcome back.
Thanks.
How are you today?
I'm pretty good.
Good. So how about you tell me how your week has been going since we met last?
It's been going pretty good. Last weekend I went out again, and while I was out at the bar, one of my old dealers called
Okay.
just to see how I was doing, but it was hard to hear from him.
Sure. What kind of feelings did you get from that?
Well, I took his call and I had to leave the bar that I was in, and I went outside and talked to him for a little bit. It was really hard not for me not to ask him for some stuff.
Okay. So you had those reoccurring feelings of
Yeah.
wanting to use again.
Yeah.
Okay. But you said you were strong and you
Yeah,
joined.
yeah. But now I have his number again.
Okay.
I changed my number, and then he got my new number from an old friend.
Okay. So are you mutual friends with others? Is that how you?
One of them I'm still friends with that I used to use with, but we don't talk that much. My dealer just got my number from him.
Okay. Well, that's an interesting thing that happened. I'm sure that makes it a lot harder for you since you're struggling right now. How about we talk about your alcohol use? Because I know you said that sometimes was a gateway into your drug.
Yeah.
drugs.
This week I, like I said, went out to the bar and I had a couple drinks. I maybe had more than I should have had. Got a little. I had to take a taxi home, so I couldn't drive myself or anything.
Last time we talked about your friends and that you wanted to hang out with them maybe a little less because
Yeah.
has that been happening or?
Well, it's my friends from work and also my high school friends. They're the only group of friends that I have. My Alma using friends I've kind of lost contact with, except for the one, and now my dealer just called. And I don't know who else to hang out with. I don't want to be alone. I don't have a boyfriend or anything. So, and I don't want to go to AA meetings because I don't like AA meetings.
Yeah. So you said you've tried those, right?
I have tried those, yeah. And I didn't really like them.
Okay. How about work?
Work is good. All of us girls, like I said, I'm a hairstylist, so all of us girls, are really strong group of people. We do a lot of things together. We don't just go out to the bars. We go and do other stuff too. But just recently, I've been going out to the bars with them.
When did you say you went to school for the hair? Is that recently or a while ago?
That was, I guess. I got my license a year and a half ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when you were in school and doing that kind of stuff, did you feel, is that when your use was the heaviest, or were you not?
No, it was before that.
It was before that.
Yeah. I went to beauty school after I got sober.
Okay. Do you feel like that was something that distracted you maybe a little bit from
Definitely.
that helped?
Yeah, I went into treatment in Moorhead, Minnesota, and got out, changed my number, lost all contact with the people I was hanging out with, and then started in beauty school and made a couple new friends, and those friends kind of stuck with me going into Jute, and then Jute's a 1.5-year program.
Okay.
So now I'm still training, but I'm working there as well.
Oh, okay, sure. So you said your friends though they don't do the drug use, but they drink and they go out. So
Yeah.
do you go out with them still or?
Yeah. Well, these past 2 weeks, last week I saw you. I told you I went out once, and that I was just really scared of. I don't know. It was just a weird sign that my dealer called, and I don't want to be drunk somewhere and then end up just calling them
Yeah.
and ending up getting heroin one night.
So since I think we talked about a little bit about trying to, find the new friends and that kind of thing. You said you went out last weekend.
Mm-hmm.
What were your feelings having to do with control?
Well, I try to stick to beer and wine. I know shots will get me drunk
Okay.
quick. So whenever someone offered me a shot or maybe a harder drink like a Long Island, I told them no. That they could buy me a beer or a glass of wine instead. So I guess that was a little bit of control.
Yeah. I like to hear that you're aware of your limits. You know that those shots and stuff get you a little more tipsy.
Mm-hmm.
So that is good. I would feel, I don't know if you feel this way, but I feel like that's a step in the right direction. You know your limits. You know what you can take
Yeah.
and what maybe
Yeah.
leads to that next
Yeah.
thing. So do you feel, or how do you feel towards the dealer that you just contacted? Are you nervous that that might lead into something?
Yeah, I mean he wasn't just my dealer, he was a friend of mine too, and he's a really nice guy. I don't even know if he's dealing anymore. That's what our relationship was before, and I don't know if he was just contacting me to, I don't know, maybe he's sober now. I didn't talk to him that long, but I don't know. I just kind of let him go right away.
Okay. So do you feel that that could be a challenge? Are you a little nervous about that, or are you feeling pretty strong?
Well, depending on what his motives were behind the call, I don't know. I mean, if he's sober, I guess, or not dealing anymore, I guess I could handle that. But if he is and he's trying to get me hooked up again, I don't think I could handle that.
Yeah. Okay. So you feel that you'll be okay unless he initiates it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel in any way that you might initiate it in a weak spot, or?
If I feel that if I maybe go out to the bars and get a little too drunk, I could maybe call him.
Okay. Why don't we list a couple things that you think might be, I can't think of the word right now, but we can say weak spots, weak circumstances
Mhm.
that you might feel that you would call him, or if he called you, you would agree.
Yeah.
And then maybe if we list a couple, you can be aware of these and
Okay.
know what to look for.
Okay.
So you said, the first thing you said was if you're drinking, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's an important one because you already know that one.
Yeah.
That's. Can you think of another circumstance that you might want to, that you feel like you would do?
Probably if I get really stressed out.
A stressful situation. And what stresses you out?
Not much stresses me out. I guess maybe having a bad client at work, or
So work.
yeah, maybe my family calls me with a problem that stresses me out,
Okay.
stuff like that.
Alright, so we'll have to, and staying away from stress is a hard thing. There's so many things that stress a person out in a day.
Yeah.
Are there techniques that you use to de-stress?
While I was sober and not drinking, I guess I did yoga a lot.
Okay.
That seemed to help.
Yeah, that's
I
definitely
kind of
something.
I've stopped going. It's expensive. So
Okay.
yeah.
I've seen even on TV in the morning. I don't know if you have TiVo or.
Well, I've always thought about getting a movie or a DVD of it.
Yeah.
So I know that would be less expensive than a membership somewhere.
Right.
Yeah.
So you can always do that. that, and I know it's, for me at least, it's a little hard to motivate myself to do that compared to
Yeah.
going.
Yeah.
But if you don't have a lot of funds, that's always
Right.
so you said drinking and stress. Can you think of anything else that might make you weak to where you want to?
Maybe if something traumatic happened.
A traumatic event.
Yeah.
And that's, of course, almost impossible to prevent.
Yeah.
But maybe just to be aware that that's a vulnerable time and to find something that.
Yeah.
So when these things come up, drinking and stress and maybe some kind of traumatic event, can you think of ways that you could, is there someone you could call? Something that would make you say, okay, stop, and this is not what I want to do.
Yeah. I could call any of my family, my older sisters.
Okay.
I know that they're very supportive with anything I do. I mean, we don't have the greatest relationship, but I know I can talk to them. Me and my parents aren't very close. My parents don't really understand why I ever got into drugs. So I don't think if I called them, I don't think that they would understand very well. I mean, none of the girls at work know I was ever into drugs. So I don't think they would be weirded out if I talked to them. I guess I could contact the place I went to treatment for.
Okay, thanks. Okay, well that would be great if you were able to do that or thought to do that if you ever felt any.
Yeah.
And are you aware of the feelings that that come up? Like, do you know the signs to where you would feel vulnerable?
Yeah, I mean, I am afraid because it has been almost 2 years that I've been sober, and now that I'm drinking and I've decided to drink again, I don't know if I have forgotten those feelings.
Yeah. Okay. And a lot of times, not everyone knows that inner feeling of when you're not fully aware of how their body, what their body wants and stuff like that. So working on that definitely could be a positive as well. So I like this list. I feel like these things do come up in everyday life, and just maybe being more aware of them. And I think that would be a great starter to knowing or being aware of when this can come up and what you would do. And don't forget, I'm always here, but I do want you to do this stuff like this on your own, and we can always talk about it when you come for the next session. Or my door's always open too. You can always make another one for the week. Are there anything else you want to talk about for the next?
I don't think so.
Okay.
That's it.
Well, so overall, we talked about your drinking that I feel like you have under control, and it doesn't sound like you have went back to your usage of drugs, which is great. But you do have someone in your life that might trigger that.
Yeah.
So just being aware of what you're capable of, what can possibly happen with that, and try to use those techniques, those de-stressing, and know when you could be vulnerable.
Okay. I will try all that.
Good. So I look forward to seeing you next week.
Me too.
All right. We'll talk to you later.